Terraria has a bunch of quality of life mods, and some of them are pretty good, so today I'm going to be showing you the 7 best quality of life Terraria mods that can make your regular playthroughs a lot more fun. If you ever want to use a lot of Terraria mods and don't know if they'll work together, then a great tool to use is the compatibility checker. What this mod basically does is tell you if there are any compatibility issues between the mods you're using. As you can see right here, if I go to my manage mods folder, if you look at the top left, you can see no issues detected. This is basically telling me that there are no issues with the mods that I am using and they will not interfere with each other. Since I'm not using any major mods like Calamity or Thorium, of course it's going to say no issues, but if you do have a potential problem, the mod will tell you. This tool was created just a month or so ago as well, so it's only going to get better from here. The next mod to talk about is the Better Caves mod. The name is pretty self-explanatory. This mod aims to make underground exploration a little bit easier by improving the way caves naturally generate. For example, this is what a cave system will look like if you create it with the Better Caves mod. You can tell it's not drastically different from vanilla Terraria, but this is not how a regular Terraria world generates. It's not a complete change from the regular game, but it's a little bit easier to navigate this cave, which also makes it a lot easier to find underground loot like this. Sometimes finding good underground loot is pretty tedious, especially in the early game, because you have to dig down so much and spend so much time breaking blocks, so a mod like this is definitely worth trying out. Infected Qualities is a small quality of life mod, and it's pretty good. There are a few visual changes that this mod implements, which I'll show you right here, but the best addition to this game through this mod is definitely the Pylon of Night. It's very simple. It is like a standard pylon, except you can place it in the evil biome. You don't need any nearby NPCs or houses, and then you can teleport to other pylons like normal. I'm honestly surprised that something like this is not already in base game Terraria. Now let's talk about a purely visual mod, Lights and Shadows. Terraria is a pretty cool looking game, and a mod like this, which improves the lighting so much, is a great addition. I've been using this mod throughout the entire video, and it probably looks normal, so here is a side-by-side comparison with the mod off versus the mod on. You can clearly see which side is using the Lights and Shadows mod and which one isn't. It's amazing how much better the game can look with one simple mod. One of the more annoying moments in Terraria is when you have two different weapons that you want to use, but you don't really want to dedicate two different slots in your hotbar to two different weapons. I'm so used to having my slots dedicated to specific things. You know, the 2 slot is for my digging stuff, the 3 slot is for my axes. And whenever I try to switch that up, for example, by putting a weapon in my number 2 slot, it kind of messes me up in battle because I naturally switch to something else. This is where the offhand slot mod comes in great handy. With this mod, you can dedicate 1 slot to 2 different weapons and cycle through them as you please. All you have to do to make this work is go over to your secondary weapon, put it in this little slot down here, make sure that the swap offhand hotkey is set to mouse 2 or your right click button, and now you can swap your items with nothing more than a simple right click. So if I want to use the Meow Meow for a few seconds, I can do that, and then I can right click immediately and switch to the Terrarian like that. This mod is definitely not necessary at all, but it's pretty useful. One of the best mods for keeping track of your progress in Terraria is the boss checklist. It's pretty simple. There's an icon at the bottom right of your screen right here called the boss log. Click on it, and all of a sudden you can get a giant log of every boss you have killed or have not killed. There is a setting where you can make it so that it shows every single boss by default, even if you haven't completed the previous one, but what I'm doing right now is using a setting where it shows you the bosses in order of when you're meant to defeat them, which is especially useful in a modded Terraria playthrough or a blind playthrough in general. I've been playing through the Terraria mod start to finish for the first time in years, and there's obviously a lot of stuff that I have forgotten, which is why the boss log showing me in order which boss I meant to do next is just beyond helpful. It shows you what your next goal is and how to summon the boss, but it doesn't necessarily spoil anything like its attack patterns or its drops until you've already defeated it. Even in a vanilla playthrough, this tool can still be pretty useful though, because it's very nice and helpful to be able to track your progress no matter what. Moving on to the last mod we're going to be talking about today, a common problem for Terraria players, as we all know, is the annoying process of sorting all of your loot and all of your gear through a million different chests. And the best mod to fix this small problem is the Magic Storage mod. All you need to do is obtain a storage heart and a storage unit, connect them together like this, and now sorting through all of your items is as simple as going into this, putting your items in here, and then finding it through a search tool or a filter or anything else. It is beyond easy. It is so much better than sorting through a million chests. It's crazy just how useful this thing is. There are actually a few other tools in this mod which are incredibly useful as well and go beyond the simple sorting method, but I'm not going to tell you about those for now. I think it's fun if you discover that stuff for yourself. I don't usually usually use this mod all the time because I don't really struggle with sorting through chests, but I know a lot of people who don't want to go through that hassle, and this mod is perfect for those people. If you want any of the mods that I just talked about, you can find them in the description. They're all very good, and while you're down there, please remember to subscribe in the comments for the like button in my merchandise.